When she was 6 months old, we noticed that she was having some startling episodes, and we took her to the hospital, and they came in after 2 days of testing and said her brain is not normal. You might want to consider some kind of long-term care facility. They thought maybe there was fluid on her brain, she was having seizures. They said she would be developmentally delayed. We think that she understands, however, she can't physically show us all the time. So when we ask her to put her head up, for example, she tries, but she can't quite keep it for a long period of time. And you can see that she tries to maneuver her hands if we ask her to do something, but she can't quite get there. When Brittany was about 15, we decided that her entire life consisted of therapy, and it wasn't quite fair to her. I also have 2 younger children, so we made the decision at that point that, she had developed, I think, as much as she was going to physically, and we had to, just allow her to have a quality of life at this point moving forward. So that's kind of what we did. My middle child, she's 15, now a sophomore, but last year, she was her freshman year, came home from school one day and was talking about a go-kart project that they offered after school, in her school, at the STEM school she attends. And I didn't quite understand what she said, but she was really interested in it, and she said it was for special needs and it was go-karts, and I thought, okay, great. So she went and she started to help build the carts, and she would come home and she wouldn't stop talking about it. She just really was into the program. Well, then she started talking about how it could help Brittany, and in all honesty, I thought, there's no way. Eventually, we met Rocky, and he put her in a cart, and she started to show improvement with some of the things that she would do with her body. So we were sold pretty immediately. At first, I really thought it was going to be like a recreational thing that she would enjoy doing, but after time, the first time she was in, we did see like her legs were stretching out, and it's very difficult to do that with her. And we saw, her keeping her head up more, trying to pay attention maybe to what was going on. But as time went on and Rocky started asking what we wanted for her, what our goals were for her, we started making her understand that the cart doesn't move, for example, unless you put your hand on the steering wheel. And she figured that out pretty quick. One of the things that we're really struggling with as she ages, when she was young, we kept her physically active. When we stopped all of that therapy for her, we kind of put her in a wheelchair, and other than stretching her out, we didn't know what to do. So she started to get to the point where you couldn't stretch her legs out. It's very difficult to stretch her arms out sometimes. But when she's in that cart, by the end of her session, her legs are completely all the way out, her oxygen levels are up, her breathing even sounds better. I think that when you're looking at disabilities of any kind, I think there's such a wide range. And I think for some adults or kids, I think that you have, the first thing that comes into play for me is always quality of life. When you find something that she enjoys, it's pretty rare. So having her get into a cart and have somebody drive her around, and listening to her out in the field screeching and yelling because she's happy, and not screeching and yelling because she's mad, angry, because she's laying in a bed, it's a pretty big deal for a parent. And then on top of that, when she's done, you know that it's helped her more than just having a good time driving a cart around. You know that it's helped her to stretch out, it's helped her to keep her head up, it's helping her breathing. When you have a child that's involved as Brittany, you don't know how long you have with her. And something as simple as a cold can take her. This is helping her on a lot of different levels. So it's going to allow us to do something pretty minimal, drive her out to wherever he is, let him take her for a ride, and during that 1 hour, it gives her more than we could give her in any therapy session we could do at home at this point.